One of the first time a woman was genuinely into me was in high school. And at the time, I really didn't know how to handle that, to be fully honest with you. Because there were no women that showed interest to me before, right? And I was never interacting with the girls at school because I was too scared of them. Like I was really uncomfortable with the feminine presence. Like if a girl would talk to me, I would become all red and, fidgety, anxious. My heart would beat fast. It was really bad. Like I was shy. But in high school, there was this girl next to me in the science class, and I could feel so much sexual tension between us, right? I could feel like she was looking at me a little bit longer, she was smiling at me, she was, sometimes touching me, like it was pretty intense. But again, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do. And it went on for month on end, like every science class. There was this like chemistry between us, but I was not making any move. I was not trying to flirt with her. I was barely speaking to her. I was not even looking at her, right? And if she would talk to me, I would become red and I would like freeze. It was really bad. And basically, nothing happened, of course. I was still virgin, 17 years old. And a year later, we were in the same class again. And I heard a conversation in the back of the class, right? And it was her with one of her friends. And her friend said, "Aren't you into Sasha?" I could hear, I was like, very surprised by this. And I heard she said, "Not anymore." When she said this, I could feel my heart shrink, like this. It was really a stab in the heart. Partly because, of course, I didn't make any move. That sucked, right? I could have, but I didn't. And also because she was not into me anymore, right? So I experienced the rejection itself that I was scared of to experience at the time. And this pattern of not making a move, not escalate, not express my sexual intent kept on going for many years after that. When I started to do the whole pickup thing, right? Like meeting women on a daily basis, going outside in the streets, malls, bars, and clubs, and all of that, I had like a really big block around just expressing my sexual intent, right? Just like wanting to make a move, touch, escalate. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. There were a lot of reasons why I was blocked, right? And like I said, my whole childhood has been a huge repression of my sexual desire, right? Because I was that scared of women, I just repressed my sexuality like crazy, right? And obviously, when your sexuality is repressed, it's very, very hard to then express it freely, right? With confidence, with radiance, with freedom. So I had to really work on that like for many months, not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks, for many months. And in this video, I want to share with you what has worked for me, right? So maybe it's not going to work for you, even though I do think it will, if you really take this work seriously. And I'm sure that if you apply the advice that I'm going to share in this video, something is going to shift. But you have to do it very seriously and don't have any expectation of any results for month on end, okay? Like, this is not a quick fix that I'm going to share. First of all, you need to understand this. When you don't make a move, when you don't escalate, when you don't express your sexual intent, there's a reason underneath that, right? The reason could be, I'm scared of getting rejected. I don't feel good enough. I don't want to be alone again. Because when I expressed my sexual intent in the past, I got rejected and ended up being alone, right? So these are really the 3 typical stories that you can have in your head. Now here's the interesting thing, and I keep on saying this in my YouTube videos. If you've been watching me for some time, you know I always repeat that. When you're scared of something, your RAS, reticular activated system, is focusing on the fear itself, not on the woman, not on your desire for her. It's focused on the fear, right? The fear is, I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be alone. I'm not good enough, right? The thing is, when you focus on that, by not making the move, by not expressing your sexual intent, by not escalating, what you signal to the universe is that you want more of this. You want more rejection. You want more feeling alone. You want more feeling not good enough. Because you're focusing on that. You're focusing on the wrong thing, you know. And the universe will keep on giving you this in your life as long as you focus on the wrong things, right? That's why so many times, and I'm sure you can relate with this, you didn't make a move and it ended up with a flake, right? Or you ended up in the friend zone. Or you ended up just, being rejected. Just because you didn't make a move, right? How crazy. So the answer to this, in very short, and I'm going to expand on this later, is to make the experience of being rejected, being alone, or not feeling good enough as safe as possible. You need to become very, very comfortable with being rejected, with not feeling good enough, and with being alone. And that's why I'm saying, this is not a quick fix. You really need to embrace that, to be at peace with the rejection, with the unworthiness, with the loneliness, right? That's why sometimes I recommend to some of my clients, let go of dating for now. Spend some time alone, right? Unplug from this shit. You've been focusing on this so much and you're too attached to it, right? And you're gonna fuck yourself up again and again and again. So learn to be comfortable with yourself first, right? So for this to happen, you need to focus on internal work and masculinity. And these are some of the pillars that I teach in my mentoring program because they are that important, right? So in terms of internal work, you want to look at what is your biggest fear when you don't make a move, when you don't express your sexual intent, when you don't escalate, right? So one question you can ask yourself is, what am I scared would happen if I make a move? What am I scared would happen if I'm going to escalate? What am I scared would happen if I would go for the kiss right now, right? And you will see, very easy the answer. And then you need to go through a very specific process that I don't want to talk about in this video because it's going to take too long, but you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and check some other videos where I talk about this process, yeah? To really heal this feeling, this fear or this insecurity. You can actually heal that. You can rewire your neural pathways to actually feel confidence, to feel more masculine, and to feel attractive in your own skin, right? So that rejection doesn't scare you anymore, right? Internal work is very necessary for that. You can join my mentoring program if you want to learn about this. You can also maybe go to therapy, even though it depends on the therapist, right? I know some of you guys don't have the best experience with therapists. That's why some of my clients come to me, So yeah, you have to find the right person that will actually hold space for you when you start diving into your fears, into your insecurities, and help you rewrite your limiting beliefs, your fears and insecurities. And it's actually possible. It's really, really possible. There's a video testimonial in my YouTube video where one of my clients is sharing his experience doing the internal work, and it changed everything for him. He started to go on the clubs after a session, and he ended up having sex with his ideal woman, like a proper 10 out of 10, right? So it's really powerful if it's done correctly, right? So you need to identify the fear and then do the correct work, which is part work. You can look it up on YouTube or on internet, and you will see what it is. After doing the internal work, it's not fully finished, because a lot of guys, they fall into the trap of, like, meditating, doing the internal work, but not taking any action, not doing anything. And what I keep on saying to my clients is, you can only know if the internal work has worked when you test it in the field, right? So you actually need to have dates. You need to go out there and meet women to test if internally you feel more confident, you feel more masculine, you feel more attractive, and you're less reactive to rejection, to loneliness, to not feeling good enough, right? So for this, you need to do the path of the most resistance. What is it? Super simple. You have identified your fears, right? So maybe you're scared of getting rejected, right? Maybe you're scared of being alone. Maybe you don't feel good enough. What is one action or a few actions that you can do this week that will challenge this fear that you have, right? So for example, it could be, well, the next date that I have with my ideal woman, I'm going to sit next to her and I'm going to try to touch her in a way that feels right for me. So for example, it could be like, I'm going to try to caress her hair, right? I'm going to try to look at her deep in the eyes. I'm going to try to place my hand on her thigh as I'm talking to her. I'm going to try to go for the kiss because I want to kiss her and I don't want to hold myself back anymore, right? And as you take these actions that will challenge your fears, you want to relax your nervous system as much as possible. For this, you can deepen your breath. So you will notice when you're about to do something a little bit scary, your breath is going to become a little more shallow. Pay attention to that. You will see next date you have or next time you go outside to meet women, pay attention to the way you breathe and you will see it's a little more shallow than usual. So become conscious of your breath and deepen it, right? And you will see that by deepening your breath, you will relax your nervous system and you will have more impact on her. Really, like it's that simple sometimes. And you will allow yourself to be more bold, right? To take more risks, to express your sexual intent, to escalate, to make a move. When in the past you haven't, because you were like, like petrified almost, like me in the past. But when you relax in the fear, right? So it's not that you don't have the fear. You have the fear. It's still there. But you relax in the fear. I'm scared and it's okay, right? You accept yourself in the fear. It's okay. Okay, I'm scared of getting rejected right now, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? This is the masculine. I'm scared. I'm feeling an emotion, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm penetrating the fear, right? This is the masculine, one aspect of it. When you start doing this, your dating life is going to change dramatically. I remember when I started to penetrate my fears like this, a lot of crazy things happen. A lot of crazy things happen. My client from Mozambique that lives in the Netherlands, his testimonial is in my YouTube channel, is sharing exactly this story where he basically did the internal work. We did it together. And then he followed the path of the most resistance. Very quickly, he started to have results with women. Like this, Now, it's not easy because it's fucking scary to do this, right? Take some balls. But you have some balls. So why not using them, right? Thank you for watching. If you're interested in watching an entire course to help you attract one date opportunity every week with your ideal woman, click the link down below. I'm sharing the entire framework for free, really to help you build more confidence. There's actually a little bit of internal work as well. And this will actually help you attract a woman that you really like. So check it out. It's for free anyway, so you have nothing to lose. You just have to give me your email, and you can unsubscribe from my newsletter anytime. See you, my brother.